Greetings, fam. Today I'll be discussing several herbs, two in detail and the rest briefly, but I'll go into those not covered in depth right now. I'll go into that next week. All these herbs that we're discussing today are part of my product, Tonic. All right, this is a formula I've been working on for a while, and during these times when hospital visits can turn into uh, experimental testing grounds or isolation, we need to really focus on keeping our bodies defended from viral invasion and general health upkeep. One of the compounds in my formula is echinacea. Now, people use it for preventing colds and general immune defense, but you have to know the biology of the plant to really understand how to use it. Now, there are various studies of the effects of echinacea in either preventing or treating colds. One reason there are not enough conclusive studies is because of the different varieties of species, the different testing methods, and harvesting methods, which all affect the potency and even the presence or absence of some of the constituents of the herb. Also, your gut flora has a significant effect on these and just about any other ingestible that you can take. Your gut flora makes a difference on how it affects the body overall. Everyone has a different gut flora, and there are different varying degrees of gut flora throughout different species of people. All right, that's science. Four classes of compounds are known to contribute to the immune system activity of echinacea. You have the alkamides, the glycoproteins, the polysaccharides, the caffeic acid derivatives, and a few other compounds. But those are the four main ones. Although there's about 9 species of echinacea, they generally use 3 species to do testing on because those are the ones that have the compounds in amounts deemed to be significant for effective testing, for effective study, basically. Okay, and these 3 are Echinacea purpurea, Echinacea augustifolia, and Echinacea padilla. Now, these 3 echinacea species, they demonstrate even a big difference within themselves in the way that the alkamides, the acids, and other constituents affect the body, just in these 3. But the common theme in all of them being that they upregulate the immune system. There's a consistent support to immune health throughout these 3 herbs, okay? And they do this in 2 ways. They reduce, number one, they reduce oxidative stress, meaning that they reduce the load your body bears in its own cellular detoxification and rebuilding, which gives it more resources for fighting pathogens. And 2, they inhibit virus binding to cells and slow viral replication should there be any viral invasion of the cells. Now, if you know this, you know that there are 2 levels of administration or dosages, all right, that you can take to benefit you. One is a maintenance dose, okay, and 2 is the increased dosage the moment you feel any type of infection, should that happen. Now, the important thing is this. People think that herbs stop colds and the like, or drugs for that matter. And there's weak evidence supporting that. Hence, this is why most of the clinical testing shows the most effectiveness is in shortening colds. Okay? No ingestible can stop your body from being exposed to a pathogen. So if you encounter one, you feel it. Your body's going to respond to it. What you want to do is you want your body to have a quick response to and elimination of the pathogen. That's where the proof is. Listen, fam, it's been like probably going on 4 years since I've had a serious cold. I've had scratchy throats here and there, but never beyond that. Never beyond that. As a matter of fact, the last cold I had was when I did my trust course. And anyone who's taken it will tell you that because I mentioned it several times during the taping because I'm stuffy and you can tell I have a cold. Even more so, my nephew, who catches colds like nobody's business, we've been able to keep him healthy going on for a year now, okay? And when I say sick, I mean he used to get so sick to the point to where he had to be given prescription medication so that he can keep food down, okay? Because an added danger was the fact that he would not eat once he was sick, and then he would get to the point to where he was shaking. All right, so I'm very confident in this formula because we've alleviated all of that. Now, part of the secret in this particular Temple Tonic formula is the ratios. Okay, you have to be able to have the herbs balanced so that it can be taken for a duration for one herb to build up in the body, but the other herbs don't become intolerable in that same dosage. Okay, but back to the science. Now, different strains may have different effect. For example, there's an IL-10 cytokine, which is usually activated by what's called pathogenic flora. Okay, and that's basically the presence of foreign matter in the body. Certain species of echinacea activate this cytokine, or rather this specialized protein, whereas other species may not. But those other species may activate other cytokine proteins, like the IL-4 cytokine, which is also an immune system cell signal. This is how you get varying effects from taking herbs of the same taxonomy but different species. For example, Echinacea augustifolia having a different effect than Echinacea pedea. This is also the reason echinacea is best used with other herbs consisting of antiviral properties, like oregano, which is also in the Temple Tonic. Okay, a lot of people refute the antiviral properties of echinacea because the most experiments on its antiviral effects are in vitro, okay, outside the body. But I want to counter that with this. We know that empirical evidence is just as viable as clinical. So when you see a production industry of livestock medicines using echinacea formulas, when you see Native American historical usage and present usage of echinacea, in addition to the current studies, I think it becomes clear that it's an effective adjunct remedy for virus protection via stimulation of killer proteins and reducing oxidative stress on the body, which leads to susceptibility to viral infection in the first place. Okay, the body being overburdened by stress. The viral agents causing common colds are mostly picoroniviruses, rhinoviruses, enteroviruses, coronaviruses, adenoviruses, parainfluenza viruses, and respiratory syncytial viruses. Echinacea can stimulate the cytokine proteins that muster killer cells to attack these pathogens due to the fact that cytokines signal T cell activation. Now, one little known fact about the body is that it becomes more susceptible to colds during winter. Why? Because the nasal passages don't kill as much bacteria as they do because of the heat loss due to cold air being breathed in. Okay? We know heat kills bacteria in the body, which is why fevers heat the body in defending itself against pathogens. Cayenne, also in the Temple Tonic formula, aids the body in two ways. It keeps the body heated and keeps blood vessels open to receive more oxygen, which is also anti-pathogenic. Okay, oxygen itself. It increases uptake of the herb that it's taken with. So if you have cayenne, which we know is a vasodilator, it will increase the uptake of any herb that's taken with it. Okay, and it also primes the body to fight pathogens by causing an increase in body temperature. Oregano is the next major piece in the formula, and oregano is a monster. Okay, we know this. Oregano has carvacrol, thymol, and the precursors p-cymene and y-terpenine. Now, if you remember, I did a video way back, maybe about a year ago, called Why Black Seed Oil is So Powerful. And I spoke on the turpentine component of it, which is formed from certain terpenine compounds. Now, the turpentine, which was used in days of old, and the terpenine that's found in carvacrol are of the same family. Turpentine has been used for a long time among Aboriginal people even to treat many illnesses and as a preventative medicine. And also some of our elders, some of us may remember our elders depended heavily upon turpentine. Okay, this is a constituent of oregano as well as carvacrol, which is also antimicrobial. One thing to note is when carvacrol is isolated from terpenine, cymene, and thymol, it does retain its antimicrobial, antiviral powers, but it loses anti-inflammatory powers, which shows that these compounds have a synergy. When you combine these compounds, you get an anti-inflammatory effect. Okay, this is why the whole herb is very important. This is why nature's mixture of these organic medicines create more than what they are separated. So you should not, you should have a caution or a specific reason to take any of these components uh, in a separate isolation. That same synergy is demonstrated in the blend of echinacea and oregano, both having similar properties and effects. Echinacea being more of a hindrance to viruses by activating the body's natural antiviral defenses, and oregano being directly antiviral by destroying the structure and propagation of viruses should they enter the body. Okay, oregano is proven and powerful, so much so that the European Union is using it in replacement of APGs right now, which are we'll discuss that in the next video. APGs are um, constituents used, or basically herbs used, the herbal concoctions used to stop the growth of infectious diseases among livestock. And they're using these with verified studies to show reduction of infection rates of livestock. But I'll discuss them again in next week's video, and I'll have more proof on oregano's antiviral powers, which does not really appear scientifically, meaning you hear it more as an axiom of medicine rather than being able to follow the proven science of the antiviral action. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show where they consistently prove and demonstrate oregano's antiviral powers in the next video. I'll also continue coverage of other components of the Temple Tonic formula, the lemon verbena, the burdock, the turmeric, and more on cayenne. So we'll get a full scope and depth on the benefits and protections that this formula provides in the next series of videos. Okay, so again, this is available currently, Temple Tonic. I'll also, within a week or so, have another product coming out called Cosmic Moss. That will be available next week. And we are bringing the Infinite Thick back, for the fellas who I've gotten plenty of emails on that, good reviews. So we will be bringing that back shortly as well, okay? Right now the Temple Tonic is available. You can go to the link below and order some of that. The Cosmic Moss will be available within the next week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. And we will also go over a series of videos discussing the benefits and effects of the Cosmic Moss as well, okay? So, glad to commune with you again, fam. Till next week, peace. If you learned from this video, help support the study and time to bring this knowledge to our community. It does take time and effort to be concise and as accurate as possible so that we can stay abreast of important health information and techniques. Please visit the site and follow these links.